Being a musician, an artist, someone who writes lyrics and is constantly trying to look for creative ideas and to put no ideas down, you know that sometimes it can be a struggle where people say they get writer's block. This isn't just isolated to music. This is to do with just normal writing. This is to do if you're an actor, a painter, anything where you're creative. You have probably looked up one of these videos thinking of how I can be more creative. I think one of the crucial things that I don't see too many people talking about when it comes to being creative and for coming up with fresh ideas is not working on your music. It doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but just let me try and explain what I mean by this. How are you going to write about interesting things if you don't have an interest in life? If you've got nothing good to talk about in your life because you are constantly locking yourself away in this room and not experiencing the outside world, not seeing everything the world has got to offer, how are you gonna write good lyrics? How are you gonna write stories that relate to people if you're not talking to other people and you're not hearing other people's perspectives? I can think of so many times where I have been in this room trying to write something and I couldn't think of anything at all. I will go out, I will go and cycle down to the gym, and as I'm down there just being out in the open and stuff, so many ideas are just flowing to me like that, and I have to keep stopping every 5 seconds to put the voice recorder on my phone to get all these ideas down. And with this wave of inspiration, you know, I come home and I'll start writing. A lot of ideas I come up with as well if I'm driving. The time that you are not working on your music is just as important as the time when you are in the studio working on your music. Obviously, I am not saying to just put off projects and to not sit in the room and try and work on stuff and say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go out and ideas will come to me, and I'm not gonna be in here putting the work in. You need to be in here putting the work in, but I don't believe it should be 100% of what you're doing. I think songwriting is a good balance between the practical, really sitting in and getting into the track and working on your music hands-on, and being out in the world, letting them ideas live in your head, letting stuff come to you naturally. You are gonna write much more interesting stuff if you have an interesting life, and if you're doing stuff you're experiencing, you're growing as a person. This song back here, I've got most of it done, you know, but I like to take that extra week or so just to sit on the song and just to let stuff come to me. My strategy is always I will get 90% of the song done in as fast a time as possible, but instead of just putting the stamp on that and moving off with it, I like to give it a week or two just to sit on the song and just to see what happens, because you could end up coming up with some really good lyrics, some really good melodies or different rhythms and stuff. It's always good to be in that moment, but it is also good to take them moments from outside and put that into your song. One of the best songwriting tips that I have, and one of the best creativity tips that I have, is just to let your mind be active outside of here, outside of the studio, and let your mind work through these ideas, and a lot of stuff comes to you then.